So let's take a quick tour of Dynamics Customer Insights. Here you see a typical landing page when you first open Customer Insights, and we can get some very quick insights into our customer data. In this case, we're seeing some aggregate measures like the average value of online purchases and the average value of in-store purchases. We can also see some potential interest and brand affinities for our customers. We'll talk a little bit more about these later on. And we can also see that we have a couple of segments defined and the number of customers that fall into each of these segments. But Customer Insights starts with the data, and it's a big piece of what Customer Insights enables is this ability to integrate data from a number of different data sources. In fact, you can see here that we have a variety of different data sources coming into this demo instance, some from our e-commerce site, from our loyalty program, from our in-store POS, and so on. In fact, one of the great features of Dynamics Customer Insights is the number of out-of-the-box connectors that come with the platform that enable you to very quickly integrate data from a variety of internal and external data sources so that you can begin to unify customer data as quickly as possible. Speaking of that, one of the big and most important parts of Customer Insights is this ability to unify customer data, and this is done through a three-step process called M3, or Map, Match, and Merge. The first step in this process is mapping our different data sources, the entities from those data sources, to a common data schema, one that allows us to maintain a consistent taxonomy of data throughout our instance and across all of our customers. So once we've created this map and identified which fields we want to keep and which of the common schema elements we want to map those fields to, the next step leverages some of the really powerful AI capabilities in Customer Insights, which is the matching process. And what we're doing here is leveraging that AI capability to look through all of the customer records that are being brought into Customer Insights from the variety of different data sources and look at how they line up, and basically with some degree of confidence, a significant degree of confidence, we can identify which records actually match from those different data sources. So we can see that across the 5,200 plus unique customers that were identified through the mapping process, over 4,900 of those we were able to match and identify them as the same person, the same profile, if you will. Lastly, we need to take these elements that were matched and merge them together into one unified customer profile. And that's what the merge process does. Once this is complete, we have a set of merged customer records that give us a single profile of a customer from data that is spread across a variety of different data sources, as you saw at the beginning of this demo. So for instance, this particular customer, we can see their date of birth, their email address, telephone number, where they live, and so on, including loyalty ID. We can also see a timeline of activities and interactions with this particular customer. So we can see in-store point-of-sale purchases. We can see they completed a web review, and there have been a couple of e-commerce interactions as well. We have some measures that we are also calculating and storing on each profile. So we're seeing the average amount for online purchases and in-store purchases. We're also seeing their club point value and their lifetime spend. So this is what a customer profile looks like once we've completed the map, match, and merge process. Now let's talk a little bit more about the sort of additional types of intelligence we can bring into the mix here. One of the really exciting pieces is the enrichment capability. And with enrichment, what we're able to do is leverage Microsoft and third-party data sources to enrich the customer profile data with additional insights about them. And one of the ones that we have enabled here is the brands and interest enrichment, which allows us to understand what the brand affinities might be for our customers, as well as what some of the areas of interest might be. So if I look at brands and interest, you can see that we've defined some specific brands as well as some specific interest. And what we're leveraging is Microsoft proprietary data that's part of the Microsoft Graph technology. And what this does is compares different components or attributes of our customers to a broader aggregate set of data that is provided by Microsoft Graph. And what this allows us to do is basically make a like-for-like comparison that says these customers in our database are like these customers in this broader graph database. And based on those like-for-like similarities, we can make some assumptions about the types of brands they might have an affinity to, as well as the types of things they're interested in, and this can be stored on their customer profiles. In fact, if we go back to our customers and look at, let's look at Barbara, for instance, we can see that Barbara has been matched up and that her highest interest appears to be in the tea category, and she seems to have the highest brand affinity for Dunkin' Donuts. So we can use these new data points about Barbara to include her, for instance, in a specific customer segment. Perhaps we want to do a campaign for customers that really like tea. Barbara would most certainly be included in a segment that's targeted for that sort of campaign, which in fact is a good segue into segments. There's a very rich and robust capability within Dynamics Customer Insights when it comes to segmentation. You can see that we've defined a couple of them here in our demo. We have a set of customers that are high value customers and a set of customers that are targeted for summer promotions. It's very simple to create segments. We can either base them on data that is in the customer profile, or we can base segments on measures. And it just was done here, for instance, in the high value customers. We're using a measure related to average online purchases to set a point, a threshold, above which we consider them to be high value customers. As it comes to measures, this is another very powerful feature of Dynamics Customer Insights. Again, we can very quickly and easily create measures based off of customer data. And you can see some of the ones that have been created in this demo, things like lifetime spend, average in-store purchase or average online purchases, and so on. And again, these measures allow us to gain insights into customer behavior, but they can also be used as elements around how we segment customers, so we can group customers together by these different capabilities. One of the other really interesting features of Customer Insights is the ability to drive additional intelligence out of the data in our customers. So this comes in the form of applying machine learning and artificial intelligence. So we can, for instance, use out-of-the-box models. In this case, there's a subscription churn model. And with this model, we can just very quickly go through a rules definition where we define what customer churn looks like, what sort of data we want to bring in, and how often to run this model. And this model will run and provide us with a churn score that we can add as a measure to our customer profiles. We can also bring our own custom models into Customer Insights. So if we have more robust models for things like predicting customer lifetime value, for next best offer or next best action, we can bring those models, have them operate on the customer data in Customer Insights, and provide us with measures and scores that we can add to customer records, so we have more intelligence around customers and customer behaviors. So that's a quick run through of Customer Insights. Thanks again from all of us here at Neal Analytics, and please don't hesitate to reach out to us directly if you'd like to learn more about how we can help your organization become more customer-centric.